was dropping frames like, I don't know, I had 30,000 drop frames in just a few minutes. So it wasn't, not a few minutes, but in over that span, I think that's what it said, but it was a lot. All right, this looks like it's working now. It's green. Good. Let's talk about deep nest in Fusion 360. So sometimes we want to nest parts into a sheet of material. So when we cut them, we can use as much material as possible, or use the least amount of material as possible to get the job done. When cutting multiple parts, there is a function in Fusion 360 called a range, which is the same thing as what nesting is. It's behind Fusion 360's subscription paywall. So this is one way of doing some nesting that is not behind the paywall. Still using Fusion 360 for a large part of it. So I'm going to start by making some content for us to nest. I'm going to create some text. And this is going to put deep nest in this one. And we'll make these pretty big. Let's make them 4 inches tall. Not 4 inches tall. Let's not do that. Let's make them 2 inches tall. Okay. Actually, yeah, let's make these 4 inches tall. And now let's do some more text. And let's call this text, I don't know, nesting, or arrange. And I'm going to make this text smaller. Let's make this text 1 inch tall. 1.5 inches tall. Perfect. Let's extrude all this. And this is a really useful technique that Craig showed us and Jim picked up on and represented to everyone on the site, and it's been awesome. I've used versions of it, but I didn't realize that connection before. Anyhow, it doesn't work with overlapping letters, but it does work with spaced letters. So here are the pieces we're going to end up arranging. So I guess I could have just exploded those and made them into, but I'm going to just project. So this is a good lesson in how to make a DXF. So I'm going to make a new sketch on this back plane. I'm going to use the P for project. We'll go through and select all of these. I'm sure there's some other ways that this could be selected for sure. This is the way I'm going to select it, and I know for sure this is what I'm getting and what I want. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to save that sketch. And this is going to be my deep nest example pieces. So I'm going to finish that. Okay, so there's a link I put in the description above, or was historically put in the description above, depending on where you're watching this. But here's Deep Nest. This is the website you'd go to, is deepnest.io, and you download the software. And once you've downloaded and installed it, it brings up this. So to start with, this is the tab systems on the edge going this way. So this is the open tab we're in right now. Is the nesting tab, which has import, where we can import our SVGs or DXFs, and insert our material sizing that we're going to nest into and begin our nest. And right below that we have settings. So let's take a look at settings first. So we have units of display, spacing of parts, curve tolerance, which will end up segmenting the pieces. So you don't want that too heavy duty, but if you have it too heavy duty, it's not going to work. So it's kind of a game there. The amount the part can rotate, how you'd like it to optimize, whether push to one side or into the corner or the squeeze method. We're going to use bounding box, the second method. Use a rough approximation, so you can do that to speed up the process, but just not as great of a nest. Let's do it without to start with. How many cores I guess you're using in your computer to run these operations? So I have mine set to 4. The SVG scale import, don't take these exactly. You might have to mess around with it because I've found my scale's not 100%. But 72 is one of them. The endpoint tolerance, so this is important. If you don't have this low enough, a lot of stuff won't import. You'll be like, here, let's do it a higher magnitude. And let's watch what doesn't import to start with. This is about where it is default to start with. Optimization ratio. Oh, we don't really need that. We don't need to merge common lines either because we're not a laser. And these are some other settings that I'm not 100% on what they do, but some other nesting settings. Anyhow, let's go back to here. Let's import those letters that we had here. Okay. And it's going to take a second for it to bring them in here. And you can see we have some issues already. We got this piece here. And it imported the correct size. They're 4 inches tall and 1 inch tall of that line sizing. But we're missing, what is that from? The big D of the deep nest is missing its middle. And stuff like that happens because of that tolerance. So let's go back and put the tolerance down 1 magnitude. And select all, garbage can it, we're going to import it again with the new setting. It's going to probably take a second longer, but it probably will get everything this time. Yeah, see, it hasn't discarded part of that D this time. Alright, so we are going to now use this button here to make a sheet of material. So let's use what the surface of the Langmuir XP Pro are. 48 by 32. We're going to add that rectangle and we are going to select it as our sheet and start this nest. So it's grinding through these parts here, and it actually fits pretty easily on this nest. I should have made some bigger pieces so it had to fight a little bit to get on there. But you can see it's starting to try to fit letters in between shapes. I'm going to put just a slightly smaller piece of material to just get a better effect here. Just 1 second. There we go. You can see it a little better. So we'll try to fit letters with inside letters if it works out with its tolerance, and it's just going to try to squeeze this and get it better and better over time. Let it run a few more cycles here, and then we'll take it back into Fusion 360. Just trying to get it a little tighter. And if you let it sit here and grind, or depending how great your computer was, you could go through a lot of iterations and just keep whittling it down to a really tight nest, if that's what you're looking for. And this is tight already, this nest. Besides, there's some obvious places where you can take some of those smaller letters and put them up in those shapes, which it seems like it's going through another set of iterations now about that. You see that blue bar at the top where it's kind of thinking. There we go. Yeah, no strip you could do. Still a few obvious places where you could grab an E, but it's probably not within that spacing that I want, right? It's probably why it hasn't put that E with inside here yet. And I haven't asked it to rotate it more than 90 degrees, so that's why it hasn't like rotated this R and jammed it in deeper here. Let's stop it here. Let's go back through some of the iterations. So there's the first iteration when it threw everything up on this canvas. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. I mean, I kind of like, where was it? This one the best. Let's take that one. We're going to export that. I'm going to export it both as a DFX and a DXF and a SVG. So we're going to call this deep nest example. Export DXF. And I will also export perfect. Let's go back into Fusion and let's insert these. And it's likely they're going to end up the wrong size because I haven't messed with the exporter on that in a while. Gave me a warning there. I should have read about something it didn't like. You can see it's taking an extra second or two. Well, it's probably going to take more than an extra second or two because it's probably some node weirdness now because of the nesting. A sheet cam would totally ignore this and load this instantly. Come on. The only problem with live Fusion content sometimes is your computer drags, or my computer drags. It's always had this memory problem I cannot get rid of. Oh, here we go. There we go. It's finally decided that that's what it wants to do now. Alright, so there that is. Let's just set it up for a cut now. Because it is just a sketch we're going off of, I need something to anchor the setup to. It's not just a sketch. So that's what we are going to use this for. I'm going to go into manufacture, fabrication, make a setup. Going to use that square we just made, put the stock box point origin to the bottom left hand corner. It actually goes 0 stock around because I've already done it, but it doesn't matter, we're going extra a little bit. And this is a deep nest example. Okay, now we have that set up there. I'm gonna grab an example tool here. Out of the library. Out of my library. And for the geometry, I'm gonna go under models. Keep bringing down the tree, the tabs, and I'm going to pick this third sketch. Oh, not the third sketch, excuse me. The second sketch. I'm going to drop the tolerance a little bit and add smoothing, because there's a lot of nodes. I'm not going to do a lead-in radius. I'll do a little bit of a lead-in. No lead-out. No pierce clearance. Okay. I feel like it's going to lag a bit, but let's, I'm having a hard time even zooming in and zooming out. Yeah, deep nest does a number on these. That's okay. It works. I've used it in the past. Not as much anymore, and I'll show you the second example after here. Oh, wow. It actually got through that. Beauty. So there we go. Let's run a quick simulation. Let's hide the sketch. Not sure where the tool was for the whole beginning of that path. Did I accidentally add a whole nother thing? What's going on? Oh, wow. Because all that was in the sketch, too. That's what happened. Yeah. I should have inserted this as its own sketch. That's why I took a little extra second. It was doing all this as well. So that is okay. Anyhow, that's how that worked. A good cut pattern here, well, from this point on. So let me show you Fusion 360's behind the paywall version. Go into design. I'm going to make this sketch visible here, sketch 3. I'm going to make this this body invisible. I'm going to take these pieces and arrange them in here. I'm going to first grab all these bodies. I'm going to use the new component. It shows me that I have 15 selected bodies. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to go into modify, arrange, select everything. Go to envelopes. You may need to specifically select the top face or the face you want on each two. And then there's actually stuff again, even behind the prescription paywall. There's subscription paywall for multiple envelopes or grain direction and other different features that they have in the advanced range. We're just going to go with what we have. I'll make these a little bit smaller, same as I had them in the deep nest settings. And this is going to be our envelope, so let's put that all in there. So it looks like that's what it's come up with. Okay, which isn't bad. And let's go into manufacture now. And there's the deep nest one. You can see it in the ghosted out image there, which basically the same thing. A little bit tighter on this. This one has a little bit more empty space. And it doesn't go through iterations either. Not on this, but if you could go behind the paywall, the manufacturing paywall, you can do that as well. So we're going to go in here now and go edit, and instead of the sketch geometry, we'll get rid of that out of this menu. And I wonder if I can select the arrangement. I doubt it. Yeah, it doesn't. Because you can do all face contours on a plane, but I'm sure it'll grab everything. We could try it. Yeah, it doesn't want to do it like that. I'm already sitting on one, it doesn't like that. Alright, forget it there. Let's see what we can do without the sketcher. Sorry, I'm just experimenting a bit. Yeah, it's not doing it for me. I was hoping it would grab all those ones. It would probably grab all of these, we wouldn't know the difference. So let's just go in and grab them separately. It's fine. I guess I could drag that and put it over there, but okay. We're going to do the smoothing and all the geometry the same. There, it's created that. Let's take a look at it in the manufacturing. Awesome. Let's say we did want to move that A Just didn't like the way they arranged it. That we could grab this A and move it to here. Go OK. Go back to manufacturing. And regenerate. And now that A has been moved to that space, then we can just export this G code. Another good thing about Fusion and having this connected would be going back into design, let's say, and say I wasn't happy with this font. I could go in and edit this first sketch. I could find a new font in here that I thought was better. Let's do something a little more pronounced differently. I don't want to get one that has too many different parts or anything like that. Let's try this one. That's an interesting font. Okay. Let's make it a little bigger. Let's make it 6. There we go. Deep nest. Now let's change the range, and we're going to, that's stencil. I don't want something that's going to make multiple parts per letter, or with the G cut off. Sure, a range, I'll give that a little more spacing in case it's getting close for the letters. Probably go 2-inch on those letters too. Alright, okay, and we're going to go finish sketch. And hopefully, it's going to start thinking and going through all its processing here. And it will adjust all the components and create me a new arrangement. So we have an alert here, or do we? Let's see. Let's go into arrange. We're going to edit this feature. And yeah, so the S didn't make it because of the size of this. I don't know if there's anything we could do to make that work. Let's go 1/8-inch spacing maybe. Or, say better yet, we had a oh, it left the R out too. There it is. So let's just grab this and maybe just make it a little bigger, and maybe it'll fit the other shapes in for us. Yeah, there, it fit the other S in. There we go. Ooh, I don't know what this is about, but I'm gonna just try to load through that again. It's kind of a big change for it with the writing. I thought I did a pretty decent job though. Hope it doesn't lap. See, it wants to lap that one for some reason. I guess sometimes you can be a little glitchy. Let's see how that's selected. Oh, it doesn't even show it in here. Huh, weird. And then it moves it at the last second. When does that even move? It moves from here to over here. Oh, that's because that's this last move I do. Right there. That's why. Because it remembered that move I did with the other A to fix the previous path. Yeah. Left out the S. just going to go into here. It'll highlight anything in red it doesn't put in. Okay. I wish it would kind of push forward onto here and show me that, but it doesn't yet. So I could just go into manufacture now, and it still remembers all this, but it needs a regenerate again. So let's regenerate that. And it's really not liking something. Let's see what it doesn't like. Error. There's 15 missing things. What? Okay, let's go to edit tool. Well, in this case, it forgot all those. I've had it where it does not, but I want to try the face contours again. I think it doesn't work because it is the arrangement. That's why. So I'm going to select all these face contours anyhow. And I think it's because I manually selected like this, so it remembers where I actually click. So if you make a new arrangement, you might miss where you had clicked before instead of the piece. It doesn't really recognize it like that. I'm not sure, I'm just speculating. Okay. So it's all the same settings. Hit OK. That's good. Let's watch the simulation. I'm going to go back and try to change the excuse me, the font again without having to change this part. Might not work all the time, but I think it works some of the time. Again, that's because the way I selected that. Oh wow, it did not. Oh, look, it brought those in pieces. Didn't like that font at all. Yeah, look how crappy that exploded, that font. That's why it extruded really poorly. Let's edit that text again. Hopefully that's a little bit happier of a font. Somewhat had some issue here. Oh, when I grouped and made the characters, I didn't drag over that far. That's why it only went to here. I see. Yeah, so there's some of that weirdness. So if you're gonna do, how do I even explain what I'm talking about? Like when I went in here and went edit arrange, I'm gonna deselect that. When I selected that before, I only selected it probably like this because the letters are smaller, so that's how I perceived it. So this time I'm gonna go bigger, so and I don't know why it keeps wanting to, why this E even exists anymore, but it does. Okay, let's go to the next stage. I'm going to forget about that glitchiness right now. And let's see if it'll generate. I got to go back again. Edit. You know what I could do though? No, I can't because I can't arrange. And because these are arranged components, so there's some trickiness too, but in general it does make the workflow a lot faster if you're running through different iterations of things. Okay, there's that, and let's run through the simulation. So we can cut that now if we wanted. We could get into some different complexities with nesting sheet metal components, but maybe save that for another day. Alright, thanks for watching.